A set of premium brake pads can run you over $150 with race-inspired marketing plastered all over the box. The pads that actually stop your car just as well, sometimes better, often cost less than half that. Here are 6 brake pad brands that mechanics buy for their own cars that most drivers walk straight past on the shelf. Number 6. Bendix Priority 1. Bendix has been making brake components since the 1920s, but the Priority 1 line gets ignored because the packaging looks like something from the clearance aisle. That's the whole problem. These are ceramic pads, which means the friction material is made from a blend of ceramic fibers, bonding agents, and small amounts of metal, instead of the heavier steel and copper fillers you get in semi-metallic pads. Ceramic compounds run quieter and produce lighter colored dust that doesn't cake onto your wheels the way semi-metallic dust does. Priority 1 pads are built for commuter cars, sedans, and family SUVs, and they're not marketed for track use because they are not trying to be something they're not. For a set that typically runs $25 to $40 depending on the vehicle, you're getting smooth, predictable stops with almost none of the squeal you'd expect from a budget pad. Technicians recommend them constantly. Almost nobody outside the shop has heard of them. Number 5. Bosch QuietCast. Most people know Bosch for spark plugs, oxygen sensors, and wiper blades. Brake pads is a smaller part of the brand's reputation, which is exactly why QuietCast flies under the radar. These pads use precision-cut backing plates and factory-installed shims, the thin metal or rubber layers sandwiched between the pad and the caliper piston that absorb vibration before it turns into brake squeal. That attention to the shim design is the actual difference between a quiet pad and a noisy one, and it's a detail most economy brands skip to save a few cents per unit. QuietCast pads sell in the $30 to $50 range per axle and deliver consistent pedal feel whether you're crawling through traffic or cruising at highway speed. Bosch doesn't push these as a performance product. They push them as a reliability product, and for daily driving, that's the right pitch. Number 4. Centric Posi Quiet. Centric doesn't run brake pad commercials. It doesn't need to, because independent repair shops have been specifying Posi Quiet pads for years without any push from advertising. The line comes in both ceramic and semi-metallic versions, so you can pick based on how you actually drive. The ceramic option is for people who want quiet, low-dust daily commuting. The semi-metallic option adds more copper and iron content for a stronger initial bite, which matters if you're hauling a heavier vehicle or driving somewhere with steep grades. What technicians point to specifically is Centric's manufacturing tolerance on the backing plates, the metal base the friction material is bonded to. A poorly machined backing plate causes uneven wear and can eventually cause a pad to vibrate in the caliper. Centric's plates are cut tight enough that this almost never happens. A set typically runs $30 to $45, and shops keep recommending it because it just doesn't cause comebacks. Number 3. Wagner OEX. Wagner sits in an odd pricing gap, above the true economy brands but noticeably below premium performance lines, and that gap is exactly why it gets overlooked. Shoppers assume anything not clearly labeled budget or premium must not be worth comparing. Wagner's OEX line uses application-specific friction formulas, meaning the compound is engineered per vehicle rather than using one blend across an entire catalog. The pads also use a laser-etched friction surface, a series of shallow grooves cut into the pad face that help maintain consistent contact with the rotor as the pad wears down. That keeps pedal feel from getting mushy over time, which is a common complaint with cheaper pads once they're a year or two old. OEX pads run around $35 to $55 per axle and hold up well through repeated stop-and-go cycles without significant brake fade, the temporary loss of stopping power that happens when a pad overheats. Now, before we get to the top 2, this isn't sponsored by any of these companies. Nobody paid to be on this list. If a rundown like that is useful, the subscribe button is right there. Number 2. Akebono ProACT Ceramic. Akebono isn't a name most drivers recognize, but it's a name every major Japanese automaker recognizes. The company has supplied original equipment brake components to Honda, Toyota, and Nissan for decades, which means the ProACT ceramic line isn't some aftermarket knockoff trying to copy factory parts. It's built by a company that helped define what factory parts are supposed to feel like. The standout feature is dust control. Akebono's ceramic formula produces noticeably less residue on the wheel than most competitors, which matters if you've ever had to scrub black brake dust off a set of alloys every other week. The pads are also formulated to be gentler on rotors, reducing the rate of rotor wear over the pad's service life, which saves you a rotor replacement down the road. Pricing runs a bit higher than the rest of this list, typically $45 to $70 per axle. But that's still well under what most premium performance brands charge for a comparable ceramic pad, and the stopping performance is close enough that most drivers won't notice the gap. Number 1. Raybestos Element 3. If one brand on this list deserves way more attention than it gets, it's Raybestos. The Element 3 line uses a hybrid friction formula that blends ceramic and semi-metallic materials in the same pad, which gives you the low noise and low dust of ceramic, along with the stronger initial bite and heat resistance of semi-metallic. That combination is hard to engineer well, and a lot of brands that try it end up with a pad that's mediocre at both jobs instead of good at both. Raybestos avoids that by controlling wear evenly across the pad, which keeps the friction material transferring to the rotor at a consistent rate and prevents the vibration you get when one section of a pad wears faster than the rest. A set runs roughly $35 to $60 depending on your vehicle, and it performs consistently whether you're in city traffic, on the highway, or on a hilly commute. For sedans, crossovers, and light trucks, this is about as close as you get to premium brand stopping power at a mid-range price. A couple of things worth knowing before you buy any of these. Ceramic pads run quieter and produce less dust, which makes them the better choice for daily commuting. Semi-metallic pads bite harder initially and resist heat better, which makes them the better choice for towing or heavier vehicles. Always match the pad to your exact year, make, model, and brake package before ordering because fitment varies more than people expect. And whatever brand you buy, check your rotors and caliper slide pins at the same time. New pads on worn-out rotors or sticking calipers will wear out fast and won't stop the car the way they're supposed to. If you've run one of these brands on your own car, drop a comment with which one it was and how many miles you got out of it before the next brake job. That kind of real-world mileage number is more useful to the next person shopping than anything on the box. And if this saved you from overpaying for a brake job, subscribe, because there's more of this coming every week.